when I entered Ife, I was very adventurous. I was joining everything. We used to have a saying. Looking back now, I don't know whether that was the best thing to do. He said, I want to play two-to a draw with Ife. I want to pass university. I want to pass through the university. I want the university to pass through me. I was joining clubs. I guess a number of my friends who took the other way.
So pretty much it's just going to be like, we're going to just talk. There's not going to be any... I'm going to go through... I have some questions that I want to ask, but other than that, it's just going to be just talking. So relax. Do you want a bottle of water or anything? Okay? Okay. Well, let's start. So state your name just for the record.
Well, Gbolagade, Adebisi. My Muslim name is Sakariya.
Okay. Alright, so where were you born?
I was born in Ibadan. 8th of March 1951. And it was a Thursday or thereabouts.
Okay, so how old are you as of this year?
I was 67.
67, okay.
8th of March 2018. So I'll be 68, 8th of March 2019.
Okay. So what do you do for a living? How would you best explain what you do?
I'm a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur. I manage a set of companies. Primarily, I train as a pharmacist. I also believe that my core training, my core skill is selling.
Selling?
I'm a trained professional sales person. I was trained to sell pharmaceuticals. But over time, I've sold a number of other things. But I manage a number of companies. We're mostly in pharmaceuticals and healthcare business. We also have a consulting arm who does training, management, business support services generally. Do that. We now have an interest in a company in healthcare simulation for training of clinical years medical students. We are forming a new company which is in form of rendering security services.
Okay.
So by and large, we have a bit of diversified business. We're based in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay, so are you currently busy? So is that a busy? Well, I would imagine you're busy constantly, right?
Yes, we're busy. We have a lot. We have a number of things doing. Mostly we do government business.
Okay.
We are suppliers to government healthcare institutions. We supply drugs. We supply surgical consumables. We supply medical equipment. And for them, we do training.
Okay. What kind of training do you do for them? Do you teach them how to use the devices that you're selling?
No, that usually comes with the equipment we supply.
Okay.
That's part of the business. If we supply dialysis equipment, we're going to do setting up, commissioning, and user training. Okay. But in the training I'm talking about is management training.
Oh, okay, okay.
So management skills for different healthcare personnel. You know, management of stocks, human resource management, finance for non-financial staff. We do all that.
Okay. So I think I'm gonna shift over a little more to like how you got started. So can you tell me a little bit about your parents? Like who your parents, what do you know about them, or
yes, that's a very interesting one, in the sense that we must look at life from the perspective of what is the African worldview. How do our people see life? How do the African? I'm a Yoruba man from the southwest Nigeria. From Nigeria in West Africa, and I'm an African. Okay. So that is going to color a lot of things, I would say. My parents died when I was very young. And it's interesting in the sense that...
How old were you?
Honestly, I didn't get to meet them.
Oh.
Yeah, I really didn't get to meet them. I have a photograph from my father, I don't have that of my mother. But again, in the typical African system, African setup, a child is not a child of one person. A child is a child of the community, of the family.
The village, yeah.
So, I hear one or two things. People talk to me about my father, how nice he was. He was said to be a driver. He was a professional driver.
He was a professional
driver.
driver.
My mother was a trader. But funny enough, I got to know more of my grandparents than I was with my own mother.
Okay.
My maternal grandmother was a well-to-do woman.
Okay.
She was selling food and things like she had a farm. Because even when I was in secondary school, the tenant farmers were bringing produce. That was a lack of my own share. So that was kind of...
Oh, because it was from your grandparents.
So my maternal grandmother.
Okay.
I stayed mostly initially with my maternal grandmother.
Oh.
That's my father's mother.
Okay.
It was when she died that I had to come. We used to live, when I was very young, we used to live at a village called Omiadio. It's in the Ido local government in Oyo State. It's a fairly grown up now, almost merged with Ibadan. But that's the place where I started primary school there. But when my grandmother died in March of 1958, I had no choice. My father was the only child of his mother. I was the only child of my parents.
Okay, so you were only...
I had a kid sister that died.
Okay.
But I didn't get to know much. She didn't grow up much. So by and large, I came to Ibadan to stay with my granduncle, like brother to my grandmother. His work was this native cloth. They call it ashoke. They were always weaving it.
Oh, he was weaving it, or was he dyeing?
He was weaving it.
Okay.
Well, among his friends, they had a place where they were working, and I was learning how to do part of the work. You know, I'm a cow, spinning
yarn,
the thread and all that,
and everything. Yeah.
And you know, I was going to school. I had reached like primary 2 or primary 3 before my grandmother died. So when we came back to Ibadan in 1958, I started school again in 1959. I had to start all over again.
Oh wow!
So I lost like 2 years, but then it helped because I was usually far ahead of my class.
Okay.
I was a bit older, far ahead of my class. That helped me a lot because a number of things that happened at that time happened to have affected my life, but most like a positivity now. We had a teacher when I was in primary 2 or primary 3. We used to call him Mr. Olabi. I don't know where he is now. He must be dead because he was much older. I will finish when we have a test. I will finish quickly ahead of my class. Then he had a bookshop at Okefoko. He would tell me to go and stay there. He didn't have any staff there, so I'll be the only person in the bookshop. Naturally, I would start reading. So I developed a love of reading from that point. So till I finished primary school, I was always ahead of my class. But then, as it will happen, the grand uncle I was living with was not a rich man. We had another uncle next door who was rich, but I was not really staying with him. That one was closer to my father because my father used to stay with him.
Okay.
He actually trained my father, kind of. So it turned out that I needed to go to secondary school, and it didn't appear that as if they could afford it.
Yeah.
So he told me that, sorry, you know I don't have money. You are thinking of going to school. It's not possible except you go and learn a trade. I said, no, I don't want to learn a trade. I don't remember that I have some brother relations. There was this my maternal aunt who was junior sister to my grandmother, and she had always sent to come and see me. So I went to see her. Told her I would like to go to school. I want to go to school. Well, okay. And she gave them money so that she should go and do common entrance. At one entrance, they said we should come with £5, which would be the deposit if you are admitted. The uncle that took me said, oh, they should not give him money, that it's only after I've passed. We took the test, I passed. They said, where's the money? They have money. So I was not admitted. So a day to school resumption,
oh wow,
I didn't have any admission. So I was fine.
Oh wow.
That everybody's going to school, why not me? How could I go to school with these people? So when I went to my auntie, my grand aunt, to say, look, they didn't take me and people are resuming school. She then asked me, can you go to Oyo? I didn't know where Oyo was. I've not been there before. I said, well, I don't mind. That I don't mind to go to anywhere, so long as it's school. I said, it's okay. She said I should just wait. I should come back sometime. By that time, I had moved and I started living with her. You know, she rented a place at Brainy, very close to her. She ran a patent medicine shop. She was being a patent medicine shop, very close to Sabiologo Pharmacy, very close to the Methodist Church at Brainy in Ibadan. very close to a total petrol station that used to be there at that time. So a day came, two of my aunties, these are my aunties, they're my mother's senior sisters, two of them, they were asked to take me to Onyon. The principal of the school then happened to be like a distant uncle who was the principal, the late Chief Honorable John Gbola was the school. So we took me to him. We went to his house and he said, you are okay, yeah, no, there's no your mother and everything, okay, yeah, okay. Well, wait. She told them to go, that they should return to Ibadan, that he will sort out my school. Okay. My schooling. So I started living in his house. So one day, he just put like 3 of us in the car on his way to work. So they put us in the library, gave us tests, gave us paper that we should write tests. We took the test. I think I came first in the test. So I started school. I joined class 1 at Onyon Grammar School. That was 1965. I was a bit late. That time I was going to be like 14. I was 13 going to 14. So class 1. It wasn't too easy at the beginning. The principal's house was far to the school. I was not staying in the hostel. And we had a lot of housework to do. We would cook. There was no pipe-borne water. We had to go to the brook to fetch water. There was no electricity, there was no pipe-borne water at the time.
Oh, wow.
It was a rural kind of environment at that time. We go and fetch water in the morning, go to fetch firewood, tend to the farm, bath for the children, cook for them. So I would usually get to school late and I'll be flogged. But by and large, I started to improve my grade from around class 4. I started showing that I could really. So by that time, I would be in the first 5 class. By the time I finished school side, I was like second.
Oh, okay.
So I had my own levels 1969. I passed with Division 1 and I had credits in physics, chemistry, biology. One particular aspect of it was the fact that the principal asked me one day, he would look at the result of class 4 and they ask you what you want to do. I said, I would like to study political science. He said, what's political science? Why? I said, well, pass English language, Latin, English literature, Bible knowledge. I said, but you passed physics, chemistry, biology? I said, yes. I said, I have to study well before I pass. I said, you are not serious. Why don't you want to study well? I said, go and study, go to the science class. So I found myself in the science class. I tried and I passed. So by and large, that would be like the early years up till secondary school.
So what happened after secondary school? Did you get admitted into college, or did you know you always wanted to do pharmacy, or how did you end up going for pharmacy?
I didn't know I would do pharmacy. I didn't know what was called pharmacy. At that time, there was not so much career guidance and counseling.
Oh, okay.
Very little in our area. It was Africa, it was Nigeria at that time. And again, we are not from such rich families. And who have people who have gone to university before you. So
were you the first in the family to go to the university, or who was the first person?
Essentially, I was the first. I had an uncle that left for England. He stayed now, where are you? Adelaide. Like distant, the first son of my father's uncle. I would just call him a cousin, or much older. He was working in Standard Bank when I was in primary school. So he left for England when I was still in primary school. But by the time he was still in England, I had entered university.
Oh, okay.
So by and large, at a certain stage, my education became fairly fast. When I finished your levels, I came back to Ibadan. I was looking for work. Eventually, I started work at United Nigeria Insurance Company at number 1 Lebanon Street at Ibadan, around Gbagi, Dubai area. So I work as a claims clerk. I remember very well, 1st of May 1970 was when I started working.
What kind of claims were you processing?
People put in insured properties.
Okay.
Car, trinkets and things like that. If they have an accident, they make a claim. I'm the person to process it, open a file.
Your claims adjuster kind of like...
No. We are the risk bearer. The claim adjuster is a different person. But I got to understand a lot about insurance for that 6 months I spent there.
Okay.
They will fill the claim, but the insured person will fill a form I put the form in the file, give it to the supervisor,
Okay.
process the claim, and once they settle, there are so many things I'm
They
going to
write
do.
the checks and everything.
I didn't stay long there. I didn't enjoy being a clerk. I generally, as a person, don't enjoy routine work.
Okay.
So I felt I still wanted to go to school. And 1970, I think I was just like, was I 19 or 18 at that time? You know. So fortunately, through my late uncle's wife, Mrs. Ladeji, I know that they were taking some school start people into some training. So she helped me to get the form for School of Animal Health, veterinary school at More Plantation. I sat for the test I was taking. So I entered the school that same 1st of June. Oh no, that's September 1970. So I stayed there. Animal health assistant, they pay salary, they have a hostel at More Plantation. So I went to the hostel to stay. I did it for 1 year. It was understood that the door of going to university was very clear. Also, when we were in secondary school, myself and my friend, now Professor Atuebi, we had this our cousin, older in age. 2 of them were in UI. So we go and greet them over the weekend. And UI was the main university in Nigeria at that time. We go to UI, we see the good food they are served, the way they were living. You imagine a person, they will give you like 1/4 of a chicken.
Oh wow.
And there will be amala, ewedu, jollof rice. I would have said, look, we have 2 options. Either we go to HSC or we go to prelim, that's concessional entrance, straight from O levels. That will not go to HSC 2 years. We said it's a waste of time. We must study hard. So I will go to enter UI straight. So
away.
in class 4, we were studying very seriously. We were reading very seriously. We know some of our classmates were doing GC at home, which will prevent them, if they pass very well, they don't to receive your school cert. Because I was living in the principal's house, I couldn't do, because the principal would frown at it. So we didn't do it. So I spent, because I didn't get admission that first year, that was when I went to veterinary school at More Plantation. That's School of Animal Health. Fortunately, the following year I got admission. But then it was to Ife. I didn't get to UI. That's another story. But what happened was that we were always assisting Mama in the shop,
pharmacy,
in a patent medicine shop. So I now asked, since I'm already in the science class, those who are making the drugs that Mama was selling, what is the course that you do in the university? Sales pharmacy. So that's what I would do. That's what made me decide to go to pharmacy school.
Wow.
I also felt I could do veterinary medicine because I was already doing the diploma level. I was just being to continue what I was doing. At DB, I got admitted to Ibadan. I probably would have settled for veterinary medicine. So I didn't. But I didn't want to go to medical school for human medicine. My partner wanted it. My friend, Professor, that's why he's a surgeon today. So I got admitted to the University of Ife in 1971. And I started. Of course, it's a 4-year program. I finished in 1975. You know, so that's about my tertiary education in a formal sense.
So what is the Pirates? What are the Pirates?
Again,
Who started the Pirates? Do you know?
The Pirate was started by, we call them the original 7.
The original 7, okay.
Headed by Professor Awolowo University, was the founding captain or the captain. I don't know. When I entered Ife, I was very adventurous. I was joining everything. I used to have a saying. Looking back now, I don't know whether it was the best thing to do. I said, I want to play 2 a draw with Ife. I want to pass university. I want to pass through the university. I want the university to pass through me. I was joining clubs. I guess a number of my friends who took the other way, they probably left with better grade. I probably would have made, if I didn't make a first class, I would have made this an upper second. I made a lower second. It didn't affect because of my life. I didn't go to academics. I was turned. Somebody asked, one of my lecturers asked me to come back to do master, and I said no. I didn't want to go into academics. Academics are not respected in Nigeria at that time. But I joined the Pirates out of curiosity. 3 of us always moving together. Myself, Bomiola Okpa, and the late Dr. Femi Awolowo. So we said we would join. But then there was a rule that if you belong to a social club, you must leave the social club if you are going to join the party. They were not called pirates at Ife at that time. They were called dragons.
Okay.
They were called dragons then. So they didn't apply. They chickened out. And this thing was very strict because they will put a notice up on the board. They will write it in red letter. Then two of them will stand by the notice. If it's supposed to be for 2 hours, they'll be there. After 2 hours, they'll remove it and take it away. So I saw the notice, wrote down the address to which was